Hello and good morning, viewers. Thank you so much for tuning into the String Theory podcast. Today I am here with...
My name is Desiree. Hello.
And today we're going to be having a profession talk. So we're going to be talking about Desiree's career path and how we got there. So Desiree, how did you get to where you are now?
Girl. That was a crazy story. Literally, I guess for when I started teaching music, because I'm a music teacher, I started, it was like this random occurrence with my old music teacher. I bumped into her going into work early one day, and I honestly already been thinking about how I wanted to start teaching music. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to get into that. And then she came in during the time I went in early, and she offered me basically a job. She was like, do you ever want to teach music? Let me know. And I was like, oh, how did you know? It was crazy. I didn't have to say anything at all. And so I started doing that part-time, which was really fun, and I still love doing it. And then same thing, I just got offered to start working as a preschool PE teacher, and then I got offered to not do that anymore. I was so happy about that though.
When you got offered to be a music teacher, did you feel like it was kind of like the universe listening to you? Do you believe in divine intervention?
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely been praying about it and stuff like that. And I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do. I was like, God help me. I was like, God, please. That's all I want to do.
And then how did you get started being a PE teacher?
My sister-in-law actually taught me, or not taught me, but asked me if I wanted to do that because I didn't want to work in retail anymore. And so she was like, this is what I do. Do you want to work for my company? I could see if we're hiring. And they were. So I started doing that. I didn't like it though for very long because I'm not athletic. I'm a music teacher, guys.
And then what made you want to be a music teacher?
I've always loved music, since I was little, a baby. Mm-hmm. I started learning when I was 8, and I felt like it was this weird I don't even know how to explain it. It was my brain knew. And I remember thinking to myself at 8 years old, being this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to do music. And I kind of forgot about that, but then I started learning music again, and I was this is all I want to do, ever. It was weird.
That's really cute. What instruments do you play?
I play not very well piano. Although I teach it, but I do piano, guitar, ukulele, and I guess voice. Is that technically an instrument? I don't know.
I'd say so.
You know?
And then, how long have you been teaching professionally, and have you taught unprofessionally before?
No. It literally came out of nowhere. I just started learning how to teach through that, I guess. So people had wanted me to teach them before, but I was I don't know what I'm doing, guys. I basically taught myself how to play all the instruments that I play. So I'm I don't even know how I would go about teaching. Sorry.
It's okay.
So yeah, I guess I've been professionally teaching now for almost 2 years. Oddly enough, it's just so strange. I feel like time flies. But yeah.
And you said that this was something that you felt you were meant to do since you were a kid. Do you feel like you've are you proud of yourself for doing what you wanted to since you were a kid?
Yeah. It's so weird to be we did it. I feel like it should be this long struggle of waiting till I'm 40 and being I finally did it, but it's just it just kind of happened. It wasn't I had to struggle to do it or anything like that. I just kind of was I really want to do this, and it happened. So I'm proud of myself, but yeah, I probably should work on that actually.
And then with your love of music, where would you say that stems from?
I don't know. I just have always loved it, and I've always just been drawn to it. When I was little, little, I remember just asking my parents for a CD player. I'm all back in the day. I got a giant CD player that had a bunch of different had 6 CDs you could put in it to play. And I remember always asking them to buy me music and stuff like that. But my family likes music and stuff like that.
Okay.
And, But, like, I don't know. I think my dad maybe, because he's, like, the music guru type guy in our family.
Okay. So would you say it was kind of like an inherited dream maybe? Or was that something that you came to on your own, that it's a completely your dream, your thought?
Completely my thought, because neither of them are musically gifted in any way, shape, or form. They can't keep a beat. They can't, like, sing on tune or anything like that. It's just, like, random. Like, I'm an anomaly in my family, because, like, none of my family is, like, musical, except for, like, my grandpa. He was, like, in a band for, like, 2 seconds. But, like, I don't know, it's just, like, random. I came out the womb built different.
You're just built different like that. And then with being a teacher in California, would you say it's worth it? Like, is it rewarding? Is the pay rewarding?
I don't really think too much about the pay, which is probably not good, but especially living in California. But I definitely think it's rewarding in my aspect, because I get to touch so many, like, little kids' lives and, like, give them, like, the kindness and softness that they need, rather than, like, how I see some other teachers kind of teach. They're not very nice. So, like, being able to, like, just be there to be, like, sweet and calm for them, and be, like, just, like, a safe space for them, to where, like, I feel like there's so many, like, people who don't let kids be kids anymore, you know?
Yeah.
I don't know, I feel like it's rewarding to see them, like, I guess, grow up, quote unquote, to be better than what they could have been if somebody else had been teaching them, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally. Do you feel like it's rewarding in the sense that, I mean, would you say that you're creating a safe space for kids to express themselves through music?
Yes. Yeah, I don't teach through books or anything like that. I teach through, like, I ask them what they like to listen to, what they want to learn, and I kind of, like, on the spot form my own little curriculum in my mind of how I'm going to teach them, like, through stuff that they like.
Yeah.
So
it's all very personalized.
Yes. Yeah, because if it's not, then they're not going to want to learn. I'm going to be like, play Ave Maria, and they're going to be like, what is that? And
Yeah.
I'm going to be like, I don't know, play it.
Just do it, though.
Just do it, because I told you to.
Right.
Yeah.
That's really nice that you're making the whole curriculum very personalized per student, per person, and I feel like it makes a much more memorable experience for that student. What do you want your students to take away after you being their teacher?
That music is fun, and that it's not, it's like, it should be their, not escape, but way to, like, kind of express themselves if they don't have anything else. And it shouldn't be something that they should stress out about, you know?
Yeah.
It just should be, like, their creative outlet, you know?
Yeah. That's really beautiful. I really like that. So would you say that you are ever tired with work? Like, is working with children tiring at all?
No, not yet. I don't know, though. I'm pretty new to the game, so hopefully I don't get tired.
You've been teaching for 2 years, though. That's pretty good streak.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's fun because I'm always rotating through different places. Like, even at the preschool that I work at, I'm always at different classrooms and stuff like that. So I'm always getting, like, a different scene of kids. I don't have to stay with the same kids every day.
Yeah.
You know, I think if I were doing the same, like, group of kids every single day, every single week, I would be like, I don't want to do this anymore, guys. But, like, even, like, seeing their progress, too, is, like, makes it so that I don't get bored or, like, irritated or anything, because it's like, look at you, you're growing. Like, it's, like, always evolving. So, like, I feel like it's not anything I get tired of.
Yeah, like, always keeps you on your toes. Yeah, you get something to look forward to, I feel, with, like, new changes of environment and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Has working with kids changed your view on having kids of your own?
Yeah. Well, no. Because I've never been like, I want 7 kids and I want this, and this. I've never been like that. I've just kind of, like, I've actually never really put much thought into it. I mean, like, I think having kids would be fun, but I wouldn't want more than, like, 2. Because they're kind of a handful.
Yeah.
Like, as much as I love them and, like, I'm patient with them, I feel like if I was with them, a lot of them, all the time, I'd be like, guys, leave me alone.
Right.
And then I'd feel bad.
Yeah, that's really fair. So this last week's episode, I recorded with the lovely Luke. And we had talked about how doing art or performing arts as a major ends up being really draining. Like, for example, in the theater industry is very cliquey. Luke had mentioned that it's part of the reason that everyone wants to be on Broadway and everyone, you know, has a place to go. With your experience of, I guess, the music industry, would you say it's cliquey like that? Would you say it's competitive? How would you describe that in your own experience?
In my own experience, I feel like it can be cliquey depending on where you're going. But if you just kind of want to like go, like in my experience at least, like who I've talked to and who I've worked with, they're all very kind, at least like that I've talked to. They're all very kind and like welcoming, and like if you're not good now, you could like kind of practice to be good, and they kind of like always like have like, I guess, what is it, encourage me, and they encourage those around and stuff like that. I'm friends with like, and my boss is an artist, and like she's one of the sweetest people that I know, you know.
Yeah.
And like I've never really had anything too bad so far, but I haven't really immersed myself in it either though, so
Would you ever want to immerse yourself in it fully? Like, can you picture yourself with a music career?
Oh, absolutely. It's like kind of the goal, low key. I don't know how I'd get there, but like I would love to. I'd like just do music and like make music and stuff like that. I think that'd be so much fun, and I could totally see myself doing that. But
that's fair. With a music career, would you want to take a more, I guess, traditional route, you know, go to school for it and take classes, or would you want to be more of like a YouTube sensation? How would you, in your own perfect world, how would you, I guess, make it big?
I would never go to school for music. I never did. I mean, like, I went and took lessons, but that's not really school. I went for like a year and a half, and she just taught me like kind of how to expand the way that I think when I do music, and like taught me some fun ways to play stuff, showing you that like not everything is like in one box. But like I would never go to school for it, just because I feel like I guess if I was like doing engineering or something, and like making my own, like going in the studio and like mixing it all by myself, but no, I wouldn't go to school for that. Sorry, I don't remember what else you asked.
It's okay. That's okay. No, that's fair. But how would you make it big, like in your own perfect world?
But
yeah, no school.
No school, UE. I don't know. Maybe like playing in like farmers markets, and like doing something, getting like known by that, and like I don't know. I'm all what do they have now? Like TikTok.
Yeah.
Like something like that. Ideally, would be kind of fun. Like, ooh, I sing a little song online. Everybody's like, oh my gosh, she's so good.
Yeah.
And then like blast off from there. But there's so many people trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's like so saturated. So
would you say it's an oversaturated market?
Yeah, at times. I think it gets more aggressive, and like sometimes of the year, you know, where it's like everybody's trying to like be like, and like, and you're like, wow, everyone's so creative.
Yeah.
But yeah, I do think it's definitely oversaturated for sure. With like everybody's so talented, but there's only so many that like can make it through the cracks to make it into like do something big, you know?
Yeah. What challenges do you face teaching children?
Girl, their attention spans. They don't like, they can't focus, which is kind of same, but like that, and just like it's not even really them, because I'm good with working with kids and keeping their attention and stuff like that, but like it's the parents, to be honest. Like the parents don't help them.
Okay.
Like they don't help them not enforce, but like help like remind them what I teach them. They're kind of just like I come back and it's like the same thing that we're doing for weeks on end, because they can't learn it because nobody's helping them, and I'm only there once a week. So I'm like I want you to grow, but your parent needs to help you like and do it, because if I give them homework, they're not gonna do it,
right?
You know?
Yeah. I was actually I have one of the questions down on here that are parents a problem to you? I guess aside from the fact that they don't keep up with their studies at home, have you had a face-to-face problem with a parent?
Yes, I've had some weird experiences with parents, but mainly like when I go and do like trial runs. They're so weird sometimes. Like I go into like strangers' homes and I'm just like, hey guys, and then they're like either like over like helicopter parent type beat, which I understand. I totally understand leaving your child with like a strange woman coming into your house is like probably scary. Sure. But at the same time, it's like your kid's not gonna feel comfortable if you're there the whole entire time. And I usually, if I'm teaching in their house, I'll be like, is there a room that we can go in? Or like, if you can maybe go and do something while I teach, because having them around makes the kid uncomfortable and feels like they can't let loose. And like, yeah, I've had some weird like parents though. Like this one guy like started shredding on his guitar before I started the lesson.
That sounds fun.
And I was like, okay. And he was like, so we're gonna start with electric? And I was like, no. And then like he tuned a guitar. He like refused to tune his guitar with like a tuner or an app or anything. He's like, I'll do it by ear. And it was so bad. It was all off. And like I waited for him to leave. And then I was like, okay, let's retune this. And then he barges in through the door again. And it's like, it's untuned. And then like went and like tuned it using an app. And then he was like, actually, and then he went and got like a different guitar. And he was like, I don't want you using that one anyways. And it was so weird.
Whoa.
Yeah, he was like kind of weird. He was like in a band or something like that. But I was like, if you could play music, teach your own kid. Like, don't make it weird for me. I'm just trying to do my job.
Yeah. Do you have experiences like that often, like when you do your trial runs?
No, not really. A lot of times it's like people just like being like, I want my kid to learn something. I don't know anything. I always wanted to learn. And it's like the parents kind of trying to live through their kid type of thing. But they're usually really nice.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good. Do you think that you have a similar experience with your parents? Do you think that they're trying to live through you in any type of way?
No.
That's good.
My mom was never into music, and neither was my dad. My dad's a creative for sure. He did pottery, stuff like that, and like I think he wanted me to have like some creativity. He's more very like go with the flow. Whereas my mom wanted me not to do music. She wanted me to be good at other things, and she like was like, you're never gonna go anywhere in life. Like you need to learn and go to school for things because like you can't do anything with music. And like she had a lot of doubt in me for a very long time in that. So like I think they definitely didn't know what was gonna go on, and they wanted me to do something completely different with my life.
Do you hold any resentment towards your mom because of her attitude towards you about that?
I used to, but I kind of just let it go because it's not really going to get me anywhere if I just hold on to something like that, you know? It's like, I would probably, if I didn't know anything about music and, like, the career paths, and my kid wanted to do this, and I was, you know, older, and I just wanted my kid to do something regular, you know? I'd probably be worried, too. You know, I mean, I probably wouldn't let it come out in, like, anger or, like, not even just, like, or disappointment. I wouldn't want it to come out that way, but I do understand being, like, kind of worried for your child and wanting them to do the best, you know?
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, I used to when I was younger, when I was edgy. I'd be like, oh, I can't believe it.
Yeah.
But, like, now I'm like, you know what? Kind of valid, low-key. I'd be worried, too.
Yeah. When or if you do have kids of your own, I saw this thing, I guess it was on maybe TikTok or Instagram, but it was talking about when people have kids, they have kids for the idea of having a child of their own, but they don't think about your kid has free reign to do what they want with their lives. They're going to have their own thoughts and opinions and make their own friends. When you have your own kids, if or when you do you think you'll instill your own thoughts on them? Like you kind of want them to go towards a specific career path because it could be better or worse for them in the long run? Or do you think you'll just kind of support them blindly?
I would probably support them blindly, to be honest. I think pushing unrealistic expectations onto a child, or just like even like any expectations onto a child that's so young, like while they're still in school, is just so like kind of wrong, I guess, because they don't know anything, and like you had to be there to help. What is it? I saw a thing, or maybe it was my mom. Somebody said this to me, but it was like you're there to unfold your child, and not to like make it themselves. Like you're there to help them, to help guide them through life, not like make them do what you want to do, you know?
Yeah.
So I probably wouldn't do anything like that. I mean, my morals probably, because, you know, I don't want to raise a creep, but but yeah.
That's good. And then what challenge do you face particularly with working with children, aside from, you know, attention span and their parents? Is there any other big issues or problems that you see arise within a classroom?
In a classroom setting, some of them are just mean. Like I don't even know why. Like, they're just, like, kind of rude and, like, just, like, I mean, like, I know it all stems off of not having, like, the correct environment at home. Like, all the problems that happen, because, I mean, they're so little. You can't really blame anything on them. But, like, I feel like definitely, like, having, like, attitudes and stuff like that. I'm like, guys, you're, like, 4. Why are you giving me attitude? Like, you shouldn't even know how to do that yet, you know?
Right.
But that's pretty much it. I mean, like, everything else is, like, it's just fun. I don't know. I had to have fun with them.
Yeah. And then when you started teaching, if you could have it your way, would you still continue to teach preschool, or would you teach a different grade?
I'd probably continue teaching preschool. I don't like older kids. They're weird.
Yeah.
I'm like, I love children, but, like, once you hit, like, 5... Sorry.
That's all right.
Once they hit, like, 5, I'm like, you're weird. Like, they know how to talk back. They know, like, slight amount of things, so they think they know everything. And then you're like, that's not true. And they're like, yes, it is, because I said so. And you're like, that's not how that works. But, like, I love teaching preschoolers, and, like, it's just so much fun. I love teaching music to older kids because they understand it more.
Right.
But, like, teaching, like, preschool is, like, where it's at. Because, like, they're just fun. They're so cute, too. I'm like, I want to eat you. You're so cute.
Would you say it requires a lot of patience to teach younger groups of kids?
Oh, absolutely. If you don't have patience, then don't work with little kids, because you're going to have to recorrect them on the same things over and over and over and over again. And it can get tiring, but, like, as long as, like, you have the mindset of being, like, patient and being like, okay, if I don't teach them this, they're going to think it's okay. And, like, with the outcome of being, like, bettering them as a person, you know? But if you don't think like that, you don't have any patience, you're just going to start yelling at them.
Right.
And, like, some of my teachers do that, and I'm like, don't yell at them. They're so little. Like, you're teaching them that that's okay to do to other people.
Right.
Too. If they get upset, that means that's okay for them to yell at them. You know?
Yeah. And those kinds of teachers who, you know, have little to no patience, who kind of run things then with them, do you think that those people should be teachers?
No. I think if you get burnt out to the point where you have, like, your favorites and, like, your not favorites, and you're yelling at them and, like, being mean to them and stuff like that, I feel like you shouldn't be teaching. I think you should find something else to do, or work with a different class or something, or, you know, I feel like you should find something else to do, because, I mean, in the end, you're basically teaching little people how to be adults. You're teaching somebody how to be a person. And if you're going into it with anger and hate, it's just what you're planting in them is what they're gonna reap, you know?
Right.
So, like, it's like it's bad in the long run. Yeah, it's money in the career, but, like, you have to think about what you're doing actually.
Do you feel a certain kind of pressure knowing that you are basically raising a younger generation?
Low key, yeah. I don't want to raise an iPad kid, or, like, or, like, weird, like, what is it, like, millennial kids? Like, they're so weird. Like, my nephew, I love him with all my heart. He's, like, my mini-me. I love him so much. But he's, like, weird, low-key, because his parents are millennials. And I'm just, like, I don't know. He's, like, an iPad kid. And, like, I see other iPad kids out there. And I'm just, like, guys, do better. Do better than that.
I feel like our generation, so we were both Gen Z. A friend of mine, he is a peer college counselor, so he's in college actively, and also I think for, like, freshmen, he, you know, gives advice to the freshmen that are just newly coming into their 4-year, and they've all collectively noticed, all of the counselors have noticed, that the newer kids are so antisocial and they're really awkward, and they kind of all came to realize that their whole high school career was throughout COVID, so they didn't really have any social skills probably until their senior year. And I just wanted to ask, how do you think like iPad kids will kind of grow up? Do you think that they'll, like, acclimate, or do you think that they'll kind of just stay in the same circle of not really having a lot of social skills?
I think some of them will acclimate, but I also think that a lot of them won't, and it's going to be this weird breed of person that, like, is very chronically online, and, like, it's gonna be a weird generation, like middle generation, for a bit, I think. Yeah. But I think some of them, what is it, nature will run its course, and like the weirdos will probably turn into, like, not weirdos, that's so mean. Well, the freaks. No. But, like, the people that are like that will kind of, I guess, die down a little bit and like turn into the like Redditors that live in their basements and stuff like that, you know?
Yeah.
I think it'll kind of like turn into that when they get older, and like it'll be more regulated better, but then like they will still like exist. That's like how we have now, you know?
Yeah.
There's still people that are very like iPad kitty and they're like 30.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So
Do you think some people just don't grow out of phases like that?
oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people peak in high school, and then if you peaked in high school in was it COVID, then you're gonna be like that.
Yeah, for sure. And then, do you mind sharing a heartfelt story from teaching, like an experience with a kid you taught or maybe a coworker?
Let me think. I don't know if I have any heartfelt stories like that. I mean, I don't, not yet, I don't think. Nothing crazy has happened that's like, I guess like I had this one student and I loved him so much. I don't teach him anymore, but I remember like I put so much effort into him learning. He had dyslexia, and like so it was really hard for him to like try and look at the strings on the guitar. It made it like really difficult for him to figure out which one to put his hands on. So I like would like put stickers and stuff on his guitar to be like, hey, go to this color, to make it easier for him and stuff. And just like how like I got to like see him grow in like his music taste and stuff like that. I was able to show him like his first record player. He'd never seen a record player before. I like this Christmas, if I was still teaching him, I have like an album that he likes on record, and I was gonna give it to him, but I'm like so sad that I couldn't teach him anymore because I'm like, it's for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, I guess like I don't know. It's just fun to watch like the kids that you teach grow up too. But nothing crazy yet.
Do you hope to still be doing what you're doing now in maybe like 20, 30 years?
Yeah. I don't see why not. I don't really have anything else that I'd want to be doing. I don't want to work in a store anymore. Yeah. There's nothing I'm like, ooh, I'm dying to do this. I'm just kind of like, I'm pretty content. I can see myself doing this for a while. Are they opening the store?
Maybe. And then, what does your job ever really end? I know a lot of teachers say that their jobs never end. I know that that's more from like a middle school, high school standpoint. Some elementary teachers, like, they don't really have a point where they clock in and clock out. They oftentimes take their work home with them. So do you ever feel like you ever have a real clocking out standpoint in your day?
Yeah, I make a point to like have a clocking out standpoint in my days, because if I don't, then it's just gonna rule my life, and then I'll get burnt out, and then like I won't know what to do with my life after that. Yeah. So I make a point not to like look or answer any emails or anything like after like 4. Yeah. Unless I'm teaching during that time. But yeah, I guess I don't know. I do take my work home with me though. A lot of times, like I have to format stuff for my kids and like print stuff out and email them. But like I enjoy it. It's not something that I'm like, oh, this is such hard work. Like, oh, I can't believe I have to do this now. You know, it's just kind of like I enjoy it. I like doing it, and I don't mind working past my quote unquote work hours. Yeah.
Do you feel like you have a very clear work-life separation because of that?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. If I didn't have that, I would be like, it would be so chaotic. Yeah. I was like that when I first started because I didn't know how to do anything yet. But like now that I've been doing it for so long, I have pretty good boundaries from both sides of my life and stuff like that. Yeah.
And then, do you think you'd ever be happy in a life like that? Like, say you were a high school, music teacher, and your life, or your work comes home with you. You don't really clock out. Would you be content doing that if you knew like you were still making a difference in kids' lives?
No, I wouldn't ever want to work for a school like that. I work for a school now, but I'm a private teacher, so I go and travel to different people's houses. If I were to work in a school, I think I would go crazy. And, like, again, having to see the same kids all the time, I think I would lose my marbles for sure. Because, especially high schoolers, like, I can't imagine working in, like, a junior high or high school. I'd much rather work with, like, little kids. Or, like, if I did teach high school or high schoolers or junior hires or anything like that, I would, it would just be like through private lessons, not like in a school. I think I would cry.
That's fair. I feel like public school kids are very intense, hardcore. You know, they're not the kindest. I think kids in general are just not super kind to start with, but I think they're a lot more intense at that level. Do you think you'll ever move away from being a private school teacher? Like, where do you see your career evolving into, or are you content with where you are?
I'm pretty content to where I'm at right now. I think I would probably stay a private music teacher. I don't know if I would stay like with this company forever. I absolutely love this company, and I don't see myself moving or leaving anytime soon. But if like, I feel like in like the future or something like that, if it like this company, because it's a pretty small company, if it like dwindles down or something like that, God forbid, I would cry. But I would probably just try and find another music company or a private music company to where I can go work for. Because I wouldn't want to just be stationary.
Sure.
Yeah.
That's fair. And then with people who, you know, are up-and-coming artists or who want to start in the music industry, say they think that they can't sing or they think that they can't play an instrument, but they want to, what would be your advice to them?
Oh, for sure, like, don't say that to yourself. Like, that's the worst thing you can do is, like, just, like, kind of beat down on yourself. Like, oh, I can't do this, I can't do that. Like, don't tell yourself you can't do something. Like, with patience and, what is it? Like, lots of practice, you can do pretty much anything, you know? Especially with music, it's such, like, a wide range of different things you could do with it. Like, you don't have to just learn, like, I feel like they make it out to be some, like, big project thing to where, like, it gets complicated. But, like, yeah, I would just be like, just do it. Just go for it. Don't give up.
Right.
You know? Just, like, start learning and, like, just practice, you know? Because you could do anything if you, like, just practice.
Yeah. And do you believe in, like, you really can do anything if you truly put your mind to it?
Oh, for sure. I mean, yeah, if you really put your mind to it, like, I think you could do quite literally anything. If you don't have, like, that motivation, though, and, like, if I wanted to go to school to be, like, a freaking math teacher or something, sorry, I would not be able to do it because my heart wouldn't be in it, you know? But as long as, like, your heart and, like, you have the motivation to actually do something, then I think you'll be able to, you know? Like, I wouldn't want to go to school to be a math teacher, you know? I wouldn't have the motivation or, like, wanting to. But if I something I really wanted to do and I sucked at math, but I was like, I'm going to do it, I'd do it.
Yeah. That's really nice. How do you feel about a traditional school sense of you have to do everything by the book, and if you don't do it by the book, it's wrong? I really admire that you do have like your own personalized way of teaching kids, especially because it's the private school. I feel like you have more reign to kind of do your own curriculum. Did you ever take any music classes in like a public school?
No. I don't agree when they have like, you have to do it this way. I don't agree with that at all. I think that's so incredibly limiting. And just like, it kind of poisons the way that those kids think about how to play music, because if they can't understand that way of learning, then they're just going to automatically think, well, I can't do it.
Right.
You know? It's like there's different ways to learn, and if you can't figure out this way, then you go through a different path and you learn to do something that makes more sense to you.
Right.
So I don't really agree with it. And I never took anything in high school. I did something in junior high, but like they didn't teach me anything. He taught me like 2 chords on guitar, and then I taught the rest to myself.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
That's fair. And then do you think that people who do take, I guess, the more traditional route, would you say that they're just as justified to say, you know, I'm this amazing person even though I took the traditional route? I feel like oftentimes the traditional route of, you know, going to school is frowned upon, especially within the art industry, whether that's performing arts or studio arts. Do you think that's still a valid point to say that you have as much practice and as will and passion and drive to do the same topic even though it's been taught differently?
Like, do you mean like in schools? Like, do you,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
I'm like trying to think.
That's okay.
Like, do you think Can you kind of rephrase that a little
Yeah,
bit?
no, it's okay. So, like, if you take a more traditional route of, going to school, a lot of people say that that's not justified as teaching yourself. Like, you have more merit because you've taught yourself, you have more merit, you have more, I guess, of a better reputation. How do you feel about that statement? Like, do you think that that's valid and justified, and that kind of going to school for it is wrong?
No, I don't think so at all, because I think that when you go to school, you learn so much of a different aspect of music and art and stuff like that. Like, you're more educated in that sense. And I think you're honestly like the same qualifications, to be honest. And I think that's like more power to you, to be honest, if you go to school for it, because like you have that motivation to be like, oh, I want to learn about it,
Yeah.
Like, I think that like that's so cool. But yeah, no, I don't like the stigma of like, if you go to school for something, for art or music or anything like that, then you're automatically not like a real artist type of thing,
Right?
I don't like that stigma at all. I just think it's so like small-minded, I guess. And I think that if you think like that, you're probably just like not rude, but like just like you probably think you're better than you are,
Right. Yeah.
And it's like, it's not, I don't know, it's not cool. Don't do that.
Yeah. And then I think we're almost at time. Do you have any last advice or recommendations or anything you want to say to the world or up-and-coming musicians or people who want to learn, or just anything in general?
If you want to learn music, just do it, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, just do it. Because it's so much fun and it's so rewarding to be able to like learn it, and then like you have that skill set now, and like it's, even if you can't sing or you're tone deaf or you're something like that, like it doesn't matter. Just do it if you enjoy it, you know? Like, don't let that hold you back from doing what you want to do. Just like in anything in life, if you feel like you're not the greatest at it, like just do it anyways. I don't know. Like, don't let like what everybody else or what you think everybody else is going to say about you hold you back. Just do it for you.
That's really beautiful. Alrighty, I think that is going to conclude our episode. Thank you so much, you guys, for tuning in to the String Theory podcast. And good night, viewers.